I didn't find out about the other woman by accident. I found out because one night at 2:17 a.m., his phone lit up on the nightstand, and he didn't wake up. The screen buzzed once, then again, and then I saw the name. It wasn't mine. For a long moment I just stared at it, my heart pounding so loud I was sure it would wake him. I remember thinking, if I don't look, I can still pretend everything is fine. But I looked anyway. And in that moment, the life I thought I was living cracked wide open. I'd loved him for 3 years, not the loud, dramatic kind of love, but the quiet, loyal kind. The kind where you build routines together, Sunday mornings, shared grocery lists, inside jokes no one else understands. His name was Daniel, calm, reliable, the kind of man everyone said I was lucky to have. And then there was her. Her name was Lily. At least, that's what the messages said. The truth is, I had already felt her presence long before I knew her name. Daniel had changed slowly, almost invisibly. He wasn't cruel, he didn't yell or disappear for days, he just drifted. He stopped asking about my day, stopped reaching for my hand first, stopped looking at me like I was the center of his world. When I asked if something was wrong, he always said the same thing. I'm just tired. Work's been crazy. You're overthinking. So I believed him, because loving someone means trusting them, right? What I didn't know was that while I was trying to hold us together, he was already splitting himself in two. Lily came into his life at work. She was new, younger, effortlessly charming in a way I hadn't been in years. She laughed at his jokes, asked about his dreams, made him feel seen in a way he claimed I no longer did. And somehow, I became the woman at home, the safe one, the predictable one. The night I saw her name on his phone, I didn't wake him. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment from the past 6 months, wondering how long I'd been sharing my relationship with someone I didn't even know existed. The next morning, I asked him directly, "Who's Lily?" He froze. Not for long, but long enough. "She's just a coworker." And then he added too quickly, "Nothing to worry about." That's when I knew. Because when someone tells the truth, they don't rush to convince you. The triangle didn't explode all at once. It stretched, twisted, pulled me apart piece by piece. He didn't leave me. He didn't choose her either. Instead, he stayed, while emotionally living somewhere else. Some nights he was distant and cold. Other nights he was loving, apologetic, almost desperate to keep me close. And every time he pulled me back in, I convinced myself we were okay again. That was the hardest part. Because love wasn't gone, it was just divided. One evening, after weeks of tension, he finally admitted it. He said, "I didn't mean for it to happen," he said, sitting across from me, eyes full of guilt. "I care about her, but I love you." I remember thinking, that sentence shouldn't exist. How can you love one person and hurt them for another? He said he was confused, that he felt pulled in 2 directions, that he didn't want to lose me, but didn't know how to let her go. And somehow, without realizing it, I became a participant in a love triangle I never agreed to be in. I waited, I cried, I fought for us, and she waited too. Because that's the cruel truth no one talks about. There were 2 women loving the same man, both hoping to be chosen, both slowly losing themselves in the process. The breaking point came the night I saw her in person. I hadn't planned it. I walked into a cafe near his office, and there she was, laughing at a table, brushing her hair behind her ear in a way that felt painfully familiar. She looked human, not the villain I'd imagined, just another woman who fell for the wrong man. Our eyes met for a second. She knew who I was. I knew who she was. And in that moment, I understood something that changed everything. The problem wasn't her. It wasn't even me. It was a man who wanted the comfort of love without the responsibility of choosing. That night, I went home and waited for him. When he walked in, I didn't ask questions. I didn't accuse. I just said one sentence. I won't compete for someone who's supposed to love me. He tried to argue, to explain, to promise things would change, but something inside me had finally gone quiet. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of losing him. I was afraid of losing myself. I told him he had a choice to make, but not tomorrow, not next week, right now. And for the first time since this triangle began, he was the one who looked scared. He left that night. Not to her, not to me, just alone. Weeks passed, then months. I rebuilt myself in the silence, slowly, painfully, honestly. And one day he came back, not with excuses, not with confusion, with clarity. He told me he had ended it with her, that losing me had forced him to face who he had become, that he finally understood love isn't about being wanted, it's about choosing every single day. I didn't forgive him right away, because love doesn't erase betrayal, but it can transform it. We started again, carefully, unevenly, with boundaries and hard conversations and honesty we'd never had before. And sometimes I still wonder what would have happened if I'd stayed silent, if I'd accepted half love just to avoid being alone. But I didn't, and that choice, more than any man, changed my life. Because the real story wasn't about a love triangle. It was about the moment I stopped fighting for someone who wouldn't fight for me, and demanded the kind of love that doesn't come with conditions.